Okay, I'm back. I'm alive. Man, that was a rough ride. Apologize for the delay on an update, but I've literally been in bed for 9 days until today. And this will be a fairly quick update because guess what I'm doing after this? I'm going to take a nap. I got up today, gave myself a haircut, did some laundry, did a few other things, and that's about it at this level. What we got hit with was incredible. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I did talk about it previously, so I'll go into it just for a little bit. You know, I talked about the natural things that I did, and I showed you my bioresonator coin and my Healy and all the natural stuff I was taking, colloidal silver and nanosoma. And look, all that stuff really helped. But what we got hit with was obviously really severe. And I just want to take a step back for a second and dedicate this update to the general, who's a man I met in Pennsylvania. I got to meet him. I took him as a very kind, very sweet man. But you could tell he's tough. And I got some intel from the family, from one of his grandsons, about how tough he was on his grandkids. So, you know, you think parents are usually tough on their kids and then not their grandkids. Not the case with the general. And obviously he does that out of love and out of discipline. That is very much the blue collar Pennsylvania way. And so those who follow me know what's going on because you follow Scott, but just in case you don't, he had a bad blood clot which caused a terrible stroke, and he's struggling hard. And Scott and his people are working diligently with all kinds of quantum technologies to see what they can do for him. But I do want to dedicate this episode to the general. We're all thinking about you. We're all praying for you. We all love you. And if anybody can come back from this, it's you. And so to the Commander-in-Chief of the Patriot Street Fighter Army, God bless you. We are all pulling for you. And we know that you can come back from this, and we look forward to that day. That will be a glorious day. As far as who did this or what happened, I've gotten a lot of questions about that. Of course, others have too. I'm not really going to go into that because we don't know. If you heard Scott's update last night, you know that he's got a very keen eye on it because of what they did to his dad. I'm going to let him take the lead on that. For me, it's just a lesson in humility that there are really dark forces out there that can do really messed up stuff to us. The reason I tell the story is not for revenge, although I wouldn't be opposed to it. But it's to wake people up so that you realize that this is really happening. We are really at war, and there are casualties, and I'm one of them. I'm very lucky that it wasn't worse, and there were a few days there where it looked like it didn't look great. But I've received an amazing outpouring of love and prayers and positive energy, and that's really carried me through this. I've had some incredible healers and doctors and energy workers, and special shout out to Charles White Eagle, a shaman here in Sarasota who my sister found, and I think he literally saved my life. He's worked on Scott as well, and he's truly been a godsend, just getting my energy level back up. One thing he told us, or told me, I'll speak for myself, was that our natural energy grid, he described it, you know, for those who've had acupuncture, you know about the energy grid, and that's what acupuncture is. It helps realign it. But those are just the main lines, according to this gentleman. Excuse me. And he described it like lay a sheet of graph paper over your body and then make it 3D, and that's your entire energy grid. Well, the EMP that we got hit with fried that, which is why it actually did make this sort of a life and death issue at some point, because your natural energy grid is what powers you. And I did get acupuncture the other day, and my kidneys were in really bad shape, and the acupuncturist told me that the kidneys are what connects us to source. And I thought, well, that makes sense why they would attack those then. And then if that goes away, that's it. And so I've had a lot of those conversations, but really the medical attention I've received energetically, physically, has been amazing, including my family, my parents who did go back to Boston, but my sister, my brother-in-law, they've all been here for me as I lied in bed moaning for 9 days, not knowing what was going to happen. Never really been through anything like that. It was quite an experience, and I don't wish it on anyone, including my worst enemy. I would wish for the Bidens and Pelosi's of the world to go in a much cleaner way than that. That's just who I am. So I am on the mend and on my way back, and I will be continuing the mission of Zilosophy as I always have. Nothing is going to stop me. They'll have to kill me. They tried. It didn't work. Maybe they'll try again. I don't know. But I will keep going no matter what, to get you guys the messages that I think are important for you, to help you keep going, and to help the ascension process for everybody. That's what we're going through. These are ascension pains, and some of them are really severe. And by most accounts, we're about to go through a really, really weird time and space. And you'd think, well, haven't we already done that? Well, yeah, but haven't really seen yet. It's going to get worse. And again, I do believe in the end, God wins, and it will be the most glorious ending any of us could have ever imagined. In fact, we would not have been able to imagine it. But there's a lot of pain to get to there. There will be loss of lives. There will be sicknesses. There will be other ailments. It's not going to be pretty. And I don't think anybody ever promised us that ascension would be. And then I just want to address, obviously I take shots from people that know me at times, and other times from people that don't. I'm happy to be here on the front line taking those shots, being ridiculed for being the early adopter that's ringing the town bell saying, hey, we got a problem here, because those of you who follow me know we got a major problem here. We got to fix it. And it's up to us to fix it. Government for the people, by the people, right? Nobody else can do this for us. Trump's not coming to save us. I do believe he's coming back. I don't believe he ever left. But I don't believe that he's going to save us. We have to save ourselves. Dr. Sandra Rose Michael said that a lot on tour. We are the saviors that we've been looking for. We all need to adopt this philosophy and live it every day. We are the ones who can save ourselves, save our families, save our communities, save our states, save our country, and then save the world. This is what it is. We all need to roll up our sleeves and get to work. To my brothers and sisters in Europe, I'm very proud of you for the things that you've been doing over the last week, 2 weeks, to show your displeasure for forced vaccines, vaccine passports, and segregation, and all this crazy Nazi stuff that's going on that people think is okay. To my brothers and sisters in the US, it's time to wake up. We need to take to the streets like they've done in France, in Greece, in Australia, and I'm losing. I don't have a lot of mental capacity right now, so I'm losing it, but there's dozens of countries that have come to the streets in the tens of, if not hundreds of thousands. And we're just not doing that yet in the US. And I think we need to. So I will be working on some protests as I get better. Going to start right here in Florida with Governor DeSantis, who has exposed himself as a phony and possibly as bad as actual deep state. And I want to address that. Since the beginning, DeSantis has been saying that Florida had the most secure election in the country. This is just unequivocally false. If you look at Seth Keshel's heat map of the United States, there's only a handful of states, and they're all in the middle, that get sort of a free pass on potential fraud. Florida's not one of them. There's a lot of fraud here. Sure, Trump won the state, but that's not the point. The point is we need to know what's going on. And when you go out and tell people we had the most secure election in the country, you're flat out lying. If I know that, you know that. And I'm not going to stand for that. We need a full forensic audit in Florida, at least in the counties identified as critical by Seth Keshel, as does every state. Again, maybe there's 2, 3 that don't need to, based on what Captain Keshel said, but almost every state needs a full forensic audit in at least a handful of counties. And Florida is no different. And then to come out and say all the data shows that there's in effect a 0% chance of death if you take the jab, or the clot shot is a new one going around that I like. That's just irresponsible at best and super evil at worst. You know that, Governor DeSantis, you know that's a lie. I know that's a lie. So again, you have to know that's a lie. We've got almost 500,000 adverse reactions in this country. At least 12,000 deaths, although they're starting to play with those numbers. But there's a whistleblower at the CDC who swears it's at least 45,000 deaths. And just as a reminder, when the swine flu vaccine came out, after I think it was 20 or 30 deaths, they shut the whole thing down. So why is there a double standard? Why are we being delivered these spike proteins that were created in a lab? For those that don't know Dr. David Martin, I mean, he's studied all 4,000 patents that go back 21 years from Fauci and the CDC and the FDA and Pfizer and all the other clowns that have been working on developing this virus, which is a bioweapon. It's not a virus. And then the subsequent cure to it, which only makes it worse. And you're seeing that now in Massachusetts and several other states and other countries where the large percentage, like 3/4 or more, of those who are being hospitalized or dying from COVID or this new bullshit Delta variant are fully vaccinated. And now even Fauci and the CDC are coming out and saying that the vaccinated are the super spreaders. Now these poor people were conned into thinking that they were doing the right thing, and now they probably can't fly on planes. They still have to wear masks. They can't really go anywhere. They're in worse shape than those that did not get jabbed. And this is a major fiasco. This is why I've been telling people for months that the Nuremberg trials are very real. Some think that they're already happening. They might be, I don't know. But I can tell you 100% they will happen. And thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people are going to jail. Some are going to the firing squad or to be hung for crimes against humanity. This is a major issue. So, Governor DeSantis, I've lost confidence in you, as have many Floridians. You know, Seth Keshel, in his going back to the election stuff, said that he found some anomalies that raised questions in the governor races over the last couple years, that there were some statistical anomalies. And of course, the states that you would imagine, the usual suspects are there given what we just witnessed in the election. So Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan, California, you know, all these states and a bunch of others, it looks like their governors weren't legitimately elected. Surprise, surprise, right? And Florida was on that list, on Seth's list. I trust this guy more than anybody in terms of election data. And again, he doesn't opine, he just provides data of statistical anomalies that show potential fraud. So maybe, just maybe, DeSantis wasn't legitimately elected either, and he doesn't want that to come out. And so he's protecting his own behind. And maybe someone in the deep state got to him and they're threatening his family. I don't care what it is. You either stand for the people or you do not stand for the people. And if you do not stand for the people, we will come after you. We will smoke you out, and we will bring you to justice. So Governor DeSantis, you are now on our radar. We will be organizing protests all over the state of Florida to call you out until you address these two serious concerns. Now I want to address something else related to that, but separate. I'm in a spiritual group chat on Telegram, and there are specific rules about how we speak to each other. And I got very frustrated as I was sick that someone was basically just giving DeSantis a free pass. And I'm sorry, nobody gets a free pass, not my mother, not my father, not anybody. If you come out and say the things that he said and blatantly lie to the people, we will come after you. And when you want to have a debate about that and you come after people like me, but you offer no evidence, no facts, no data, but just pure opinion that's based in no reality, I'm not going to stand for that. And so I'm going to call you out and call you an idiot like you are, because I doubt the person that I got into it with is watching this, but you are an idiot, and you are a phony, and you are a fake, and I believe you're dark energy. Now, again, I'm going to call anybody out that I find that I expose like that. I'm very much like Patriot Street Fighter in that way. That's, I think, one of the reasons why we respect each other. There is no gray area. You're either in or you're out. You either stand for the people and stand for kids, or you don't. And so I'm not going to entertain conversations with people that just want to live in this fantasy land utopia because it makes them feel better. And gee, wouldn't it be nice if Governor DeSantis was real? I think so too. It breaks my heart to call this guy out. I'm now a Florida resident largely because of him, because of his leadership, or his perceived leadership, which turns out to have some big holes in it. He gives great press conferences. I won't take that away from him. He's a hell of a showman and an actor, but there's not a lot of actions behind his words that are showing that he actually does stand for the people. So if you come at me on social media, on Telegram, in person, I'm going to light you up. And that doesn't mean that I don't love you. I do. I love everybody. But just because I love everybody doesn't mean I have to like everybody. And I don't. I can assure you that. Jason Cisneros made a great joke at our last tour date in Tampa. We're all there in this barn, and he says, you know, it's a really weird thing for a patriot to come out to an event like this. You know, as patriots, we kind of just want to be left alone. Why? Because we don't really like people. And I just thought that was a really funny take on it. I don't go as extreme as some of my patriot friends. I do like people, and there are some that I don't. I mean, I just don't like phonies. I don't like people that ignore facts just because it doesn't fit their narrative. Now, you know, you can call me out for anything. You can come after me for anything that I've said. But you have to be armed with facts and data based in reality. Because if you're not, I will destroy you. Not because I find that fun, because I think it's important to show other people that inauthenticity will not be tolerated. We are at war, guys. I'm living proof of that. I just took some heavy fire and made it out. So we're at war, and there's very little margin for bullshit. And I'm not going to stand for it. So I don't care who you are. You can come after me. If you want to talk, we can talk. But again, once I call you out that you're not providing any data, any rational, reasonable evidence, it's not going to go well for you. I'm a very intelligent guy. I have an incredible intuition. I've done probably somewhere over 3,000 hours of research. I've lost count. It's not going to go well if you come at me with emotion and drama and all your childish bullshit. And I don't care if you're in a spiritual group, a patriotic group. I'm going to expose all the phonies. I'm not going to put up with it. Again, I'm on the front line of the war. I have very little patience for these morons who sit in their chairs and want to create this fantasy world of, oh, isn't Governor DeSantis great? He's never made a mistake. Or, I just want to go back to watching baseball. Or, I just want to go out with my friends and talk about bullshit and pretend that everything's fine. Like, I don't have any patience for any of that stuff right now. And I doubt it's going to come back. So, I think that's mostly what I wanted to say today. I can't even believe I made it this far. This is the longest I've talked in quite some time, a week and a half at least. So anyway, thank you again for all your support and love. Oh wait, before I get to that, speaking of morons, I can't believe that people actually go to YouTube channels and watch videos of people that they don't like. I don't know what kind of life you have it's very sad. But if you come at me on my YouTube channel or anywhere else for that matter, I'm just going to remove you. I'm not going to debate idiots. Again, if you want to have an intelligent conversation, you want to understand each other a little bit better, we can do that. But if you want to come on my channel and say, you don't know what you're talking about, you're an idiot, da 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 da. Again, I don't have patience for that. I don't have time for that. I'm here to talk to the people that want to hear from me, not to try and convince the morons that their little fantasy world is real. We all know it's not. But again, thank you all of my supporters for all your love, all your positive vibes, all your words, your gestures. None of them go unnoticed. It's been an incredible experience for me to have this kind of love and support during such a difficult time. And again, we're gonna need to do this for each other a lot over the coming weeks and months, because things are gonna get a lot more difficult for most of us, if not all of us. So let's hang in there together. Let's love each other. Let's fight for the kids. Let's not forget why we're doing this. And let's bring freedom and justice to the entire planet. I love you guys, and I'll be back sooner than last time with another update. God bless.